additional cost-saving measures for MDAs. Nigerian Army renames Operation Python Dance to Operation Dance for Peace. Anambra explosion. Obiano sympathizes with victims' families. Northwest investigating panel. MCL moves to position domestic league, youth and grassroots football. Good morning and welcome to MCL News. I am Amanda Kalu, and now details of the news. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed 5 bills passed by the 8th National Assembly into law. This was disclosed by his senior special assistant on National Assembly Matters, House of Representatives, Umar Yakubu. Yakubu, who made the announcement at a news conference on Wednesday in Abuja, said that the acts are to ensure good governance in the country. The bills include the Obafemi Awolowo University Transitional Amendment Act, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi Amendment Act, the University of Maiduguri Amendment Act, the National Fertilizer Quality Control Act, and the Nigerian Council of Food, Science and Technology Establishment Act. He said that the University Act specified minimum qualifications for the chairman of the government councils, which is university degree or its equivalent. Yakubu said that the Act stipulated that the persons must be physically fit and be able to chair activities of the councils. He said that the Act also provided for the regulations of the use of intellectual properties for universities. Yakubu also revealed that the law stated that any staff or student that sought to sue the university must give a notice of 1 month to the institution concerned. The National Fertilizer Quality Control Act sought to protect farmers' interests and address the issue of nutrient deficiency in the composition of fertilizer, branding, and weight loss, among others. In a bid to curb leakages and ensure efficiency in the management of resources of government, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved additional cost-saving measures for immediate implementation. The Director of Information, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Willie Bassi, in a statement on Wednesday, said that Buhari's decision was aimed at instilling financial discipline and prudence, particularly in the area of official travels. Bassi says that MDAs are further required to make their presentation using the existing template and also secure approvals for specific travels as contained in the plan from the appropriate quarters. He further stated that on the nature and frequency of travels, all public funded travels, both local and foreign, must be strictly for official purposes backed with documentary evidence. Bassi said that President Buhari has approved class of air travels for ministers, permanent secretaries, special advisors, senior special assistants to the president, chairman of extra ministerial departments. He added that chief executive officers of parastatals are entitled to continue to fly business class, while other categories of public officers are to travel on economy class. He said the Auditor General of the Federation has been directed to treat all expenditures that contravene these guidelines as ineligible. President Muhammadu Buhari has reiterated the government's commitment to ending insurgency in the country. President Buhari was speaking at a ceremony to kickstart the celebration of the 2020 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. He said that governments will continue to provide necessary logistical support to ensure the armed forces operate with the best modern warfare equipment. The annual event, which falls on January the 15th, commemorates the end of civil war in 1970 and reminds Nigerians of the need to guard the country's unity jealously. The president also launched the 2020 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration emblem and appeal fund. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved for immediate implementation additional cost-saving measures aimed at instilling financial discipline and prudence, particularly in the area of official travels. This is in a bid to curb leakages and ensure efficiency in the management of resources of government. The Director of Information, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Willie Bassi, says all ministers, departments and agencies are required to submit their yearly travel plans for statutory meetings and engagement to the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and or the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation for express clearance within the first quarter of the fiscal year before implementation. Operation Python Dance, otherwise known as Operation Egweke in Igbo language, which was launched at the wake of heightened tension in the southeast following activities of the now outlawed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, was Wednesday rechristened Operation Atilogo, meaning Operation Dance for Peace. The army, which announced the change in the operations nomenclature through the media coordinator of the operation, Colonel Aminu Iliasu, however, did not state the reason for the action. The operation, designated for Southeast and South-South, as stated by the Nigerian Army, will begin on November 1st. It is expected to address the current insecurity being experienced in the two neighboring geopolitical zones. The Army's action, newsmen said, may not be unconnected with opposition trailing its planned relaunch of the operation in the regions considered by most citizens as peace. The Anambra State Governor, Willie Obiano, has sympathized with the family of a woman and her child who were burnt to death in a truck accident in Onitsha, the state capital. Governor Obiano has directed owners of properties affected by the tragic accident, including shop owners, to report at the conference room of the Secretary to the State Government on Monday, October 21st, 2019, to see how the Anambra State Government can assist them. The accident occurred on Wednesday when a tanker laden with premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, fell into a ditch and began to spill its contents. A ball of fire resulted from the incident and quickly spread. Men of the Anambra State Fire Service arrived at the scene with their equipment but were unable to quench the inferno as the angry mob on the scene prevented other fire trucks, including one from neighboring Asaba in Delta State, from getting to the scene. In a statement by the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Don Adunuba, said that a panel will be set up immediately to determine the cause of the accident, why the firemen could not put out the fire, and how the condition of the victims can be ameliorated. The governor also prayed for the repose of the souls of the woman and child who died in the accident. The Anambra State government will assist their families in their burials. A 41-year-old Nigerian man has been stabbed to death in South Africa's KwaZulu-Natal province following an altercation over cell phone repairs. Mr. Ikenna Innocent Otugo, who ran a cell phone repair shop in Mpangeni near Durban, is from Ebengu village, Nimo, in Anambra State. A report from one of the Nigerian community leaders in the area, Mr. Boniface Chilo, says that a female customer who was unhappy about the service she got allegedly returned with two men who attacked the deceased during an altercation. One of the men was said to have stabbed him and he died on the way to the hospital. The KwaZulu-Natal chairman of the Nigerian Citizens Association, South Africa, Mr. Bartlome Ezeagolo, confirmed that the two attackers are yet to be apprehended, but the police are investigating. The The closure of Nigerian borders is said to be causing ripples among its neighbors. The Ghanaian Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Shelley Botchway, on Wednesday urged the federal government to reconsider its stand. Botchway noted that the closure of the borders with Benin has adversely impacted on Ghanaian traders. She spoke during a meeting with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Onyama, in Abuja. She was accompanied by her counterpart in Ministry of Trade, Alan Kyerematen, and the Acting High Commissioner to Nigeria, Mrs. Eva Deno. Botchway on Tuesday held a meeting with the Nigerian High Commissioner to Ghana, Mr. Olufemi Abikoye, in Accra over the situation. She explained that the situation is so dire that it could lead to political tension in countries severely affected by the decision. Onyama pointed out the closure is to protect the nation's economy from smugglers, traffickers, and illegal migrants. Botchway had assured that the government will exhaust all diplomatic avenues to get Nigeria to reopen its western borders for the free flow of goods from Ghana to the sub-region. She said truckloads of goods from Ghana have been detained at the Seme border between Benin and Nigeria for weeks, adding that returning the consignment to the seaports will be a major problem as the traders have already lost millions of cedis within the last few weeks. Still to come on the news, Governor Ikpeazu gets Executive Council. Workers urge federal government to show sincerity in minimum wage implementation. World Food Day calls for better dieting. These and more will come from our Umaya studios with Emmanuel Wanzwe after the commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Do not deface Abia State with posters. Do not defecate on our streets. Do not litter Abia State. Not urinate in public places.
You no talk, you talk. What do you do this one? I say, make you do things where we carry for hand. Now so one time. Have you not been so?
Keep Abia State clean. This message is brought to you by MCLtv.
Welcome back. At this point, we'll be connecting to Umaya Studios where Emmanuel is standing by with more news. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Very good morning to you, Amanda, and welcome to Umaya. The State Governor has charged the newly sworn-in commissioners to make good use of bureaucracies to bring about the desired goals of his administration. He warned that his administration will not tolerate excuses for failure as such will be visited with replacements. The governors of province have been sworn in at the new Agro Executive Council held at the International Conference Center in Mumbai. Nora Kapo has details of the ceremony.
Is are called to serve, noting that their very best is demanded in the state at this very critical time. The governor explained that they are expected to play a very strategic role as his administration is in a hurry to achieve our mandates given to them by the people and must run on a fast lane. It must enjoin them to mobilize the workforce at their respective ministries and foster synergy amongst other ministries to ensure unity.
You may not need to be consulted, so you find you lacking in any of the duties that you are supposed to deliver. Lack of logistics should not be an excuse for failure. We would like to hear that despite odds we succeeded, rather they become odds we fail.
Speaking on behalf of the commissioners, Ahamuko, Commissioner for Finance, appreciated the governor for finding them worthy and assured that as a people of probity, character and dedication to duty, they will show integrity in the discharge of their assignments. He added that their presence will add speed to achieving his administration's objectives. The OBCK will man the Ministry of Special Duties. John Okoro joins projects. Mrs. Ojo Lovett Ademoha, Culture and Tourism. Cosmos Ndugwe, Trade and Commerce, while Obada Theophilus Odonyemfe will be in charge of housing. Onyema Wachuku, Small and Medium Scale Enterprises Development. Bob Ogu, Works. Godwin Onyendilefu, Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. Emeka Ikwagu is in charge of Youth, Sports and Social Development. BK Kalu Duma will be in charge of budget and planning. Ekele One More, Transportation. Mrs. Okachi Constance Amala, Women Affairs. Prince Ezekwesili, Cooperatives and Rural Development, while Solomon Ogunji will man Environment. Imechuku Onoha, Petroleum and Solid Minerals Development. Prince Okoli Daniel Ihanacho, Homeland Security. Suleiman Okando, Lands and Survey. Dr. Ahamuko, Finance. Chijoke Mademere, Science and Technology, and KC Wangwa, Education. Mrs. Owama Olewengwa, Industry. Dr. Joe Osuji, Health, and Emma Wabuko will be in charge of Public Utilities. Nora Okafor, MCL News.
Many thanks, Nora, for that report. Now, workers in Umara have urged the federal government to be sincere in its plans to increase the minimum wage of workers in the country. This is coming as the leadership of organized labor threatens to embark on strike to demand the implementation of the new minimum wage. The authority further reports that the workers are still awaiting directives from the labor leaders.
On Tuesday, 6th November 2018, the Tripartite Committee on the Review of National Minimum Wage, headed by Ahmed Pepio, presented its report to President Muhammadu Buhari. In the report, the committee recommended that the federal government pay workers a minimum wage of 30,000 naira. President Buhari also approved the amount and transmitted the new wage bill to the National Assembly for legislative action. The President's action came after he received reports of the Technical Committee on the Implementation of the Minimum Wage, headed by Bismarck Rolani. Months after this, there has been logjam between the leadership of the organized labor and representatives of the federal government on the implementation of the new minimum wage and the consequential salaries adjustment. Labour, after several meetings, is demanding 29% salary increase for officers on level 7 to 14 and 24% adjustment for officers on levels 15 to 17. However, the federal government presented a proposal of 11% salary increase for officers on grade level 7 to 14 and 6.5% adjustment for workers of grade level 15 to 17. Both parties have held series of meetings in this regard. As the deliberations continued, the organized labor threatened to embark on strike on 16 October 2019 if their demands are not met by the federal government. It is for this that MCL News crew visited the state secretariat in Umuahia. At the secretariat, workers were seen going about their duties as they say they await further directives from the national leadership of the organized labor. The workers, however, urged the federal government to accept labor's demand in the face of the current economic situation in the country. They have heard that the federal government is dragging on the new minimum wage implementation to buy more time.
If they have reported on it and agreed on it, if the people ministry is just for them to carry it out. I don't know why they are dangling about it. I think the workers, they have the right to be paid. They should receive this minimum wage.
They also said that though embarking on the strike would be detrimental to both parties, it appears that strike is the only option that will drive home the demand made by labor.
If that's what they think they should do and achieve their aim, I think they should go ahead. But there's nothing like dialogue. If you pay the minimum, the people will not just. The workers, in fact, they don't enjoy this strike.
Mchetachi Chikwaja, MCL News.
On the move from labor matters, traders in Umuahia have lamented the increase in price of goods, which has resulted to low patronage and food items. This comes as MCL News sampled the opinions of Nigeria joined the rest of the global community to mark this year's World Food Day. World Food Day is celebrated annually on 16th October. And in this report, Precious Ozibo proposed that the theme for this year's event is Our Actions, Our Future, Healthy Diet for Zero Hunger.
Food is a basic and fundamental human need. It is also any substance consumed to provide nutritional support for an organism. In recent decades, dieting has changed due to the negative economic conditions that Nigerians have had to grapple with and effects resulting in high level of malnutrition. This is the focal point for the observation of World Food Day, which is celebrated annually on the 16th of October. This day aims at creating awareness globally for those who suffer from hunger and to ensure the need for food security and nutritious diets for all. Speaking to MCL News, traders in Umuahia lamented the rise in prices of rice and other food items. They said that despite the prices of goods, they are still being patronized. Consumer, however, believes that the place of food in everyday living cannot be overemphasized, despite the increase in the prices of food items. The theme for this year's celebration is Our Actions Are Our Future, Healthy Diet for Zero Hunger, which focuses on tackling global hunger. Precious Ozibo, MCL News.
But we conclude our package from Umuahia. Now back to you.
Thank you, Emmanuel, for those news reports. It was a celebration of life as Mrs. Mercy Mbeke Okereke was laid to rest at Mazi Philip Okoronkwo Okereke's compound in Amuvi, Agochukwu local government area. MCL News captured the funeral ceremony. The report.
The funeral ceremony for late Mercy Okereke was a rain of eulogies. The officiating minister and parish priest of St. Thomas Catholic Church, Amuvi Arochukwu, Reverend Father Kizito Mbemere, extolled late Mercy Okereke as a woman of virtue who served God and her family devotedly all through her days.
If you make a good analysis of Christianity, you will discover that Christianity is nothing but religion of relationship. Christianity is all about relationship. Triple relationship. Your relationship with your God, your relationship with your fellow human being, and your relationship with your environment.
After the funeral service, the remains of Mercy Okereke was interred in her family compound. Members of the Okereke family, led by Mazi Philip Okereke, spoke to MCL News on the life of his late wife, Mrs. Mercy Okereke.
Around us here, it's a very large, small family, but they are very large. The father had just three or four of them, and they can constitute a whole village now.
Taught us how to love our neighbors, how to make sacrifice. Because my mom herself lived a life of service and sacrifice.
In all the years I knew my mother never called me one day and made a request of even 1 naira from me. That is true. Her life is a life of giving, a sacrificial life.
My mama is a very nice woman. He taught us the way of God. He has been so kind to so many people. On the 30th of August, death took away my mother. I'm thanking God that he reached that age.
She was everything to me. She was my world. She makes me happy. Whenever I come in and see her, if I'm sad, I see her, I am happy.
I remember the time that she would gather us with my brothers and sisters on the table every morning. She would prepare food for us. Even when we closed school, right from the time I was like 5 years, they would come and pick us from school.
The management staff of MCLtv, led by MD CEO Ozo Oke Michael Iboniku, attended the ceremony and expressed words of encouragement for the Okereke family.
They should rely in the gift of God, his wisdom, of knowledge in every situation. Give thanks to him, and you could equally recognize that he gives and he takes whenever he wants.
They should learn from all the legacies that she left behind, that is bringing them up in the way of the Lord, emphasizing that they have good education, and then making sure that they impart good character in them.
Because of her great accomplishments, I think if there are people who are blessed in the world by God, Mama Mercy is one of such people. We got to know Mommy Mercy through Mazi Philip Okereke, who is our famous Oga, and we love the family. We came all the way from Aba.
The funeral ceremony was also graced by the presence of the chaplain in charge of All Saints Military Catholic Church, Army Post Housing Estate, Ojo, Lagos, Major Reverend Philip Olisemecha Okoli. Late Diamond Mother Mrs. Mercy Mbeki Okereke is survived by Mazi Philip Okereke, one-time editorial board chairman of MCL Television, and several sons and daughters. Emeka Chibu, MCL News.
On sports, the Reforms Committee of the Nigeria Football Federation yesterday ended a 2-day meeting in Abuja with focus on how to reposition the various domestic leagues and develop youth and grassroots football in the country. The committee reviewed documents emanating from its previous meetings, dwelt on NFF governance structure, league football, women's football, and commercial matters. Chairman of the committee and first vice president, Seri Akinwumi, expressed satisfaction with the progress that has been made in the past 2 days, the quality and robustness of discussions. He noted that recommendations will soon be made to the NFF Executive Committee, who in turn will be expected to put them forward to the Congress for deliberation and hopefully ratification. At the committee's inauguration in December 2018, NFF President Amaju Pinnick said there would have been no compelling need to put together this group of eminent Nigerians persons of considerable weight and relevant across football and beyond, if we are not determined to implement the committee's recommendations. Meanwhile, the coach of Sao Paulo youth team, Marcos Vizzoli, has advised coach Manu Gaba to work on the Golden Eagles goal-scoring abilities of the Nigerian team if the Nigerian team hopes to go far in the upcoming FIFA World U17 Championships in Brazil. The Brazilian club youth team on Monday evening handed a 2-1 defeat to the Nigerian team despite the fact that the Eaglets dominated possession and created several notable chances. The Nigerian team was the better side for most part of the game, but could only convert a penalty through Olakunle Olusegun in the 70th minute for a consolation goal. Vizzoli also faulted the Golden Eagles midfield for losing the ball, which resulted in the second goal for his team. That's the size of the news package this morning, but before we sign out, a recap of our major stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved additional cost-saving measures for immediate implementation to curb leakages and ensure efficiency in the management of resources of government. Operation Python Dance, otherwise known as Operation Ekweke, has been rechristened Operation Atilogo, meaning Operation Dance for Peace. Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano has sympathized with the family of a woman and her child who were burnt to death in a truck accident in Onitsha, the state capital, and promised to assist other survivors. And on sports, the Reforms Committee of the Nigerian Football Federation yesterday ended a 2-day meeting in Abuja with focus on how to reposition the various domestic leagues and develop youth and grassroots football in the country. That's the side of the news package. Thanks for watching. Please join us again by 1 p.m. for more news. Good morning.